Listen, this is not an act the way I act on air. This is real. I'm totally freaked out. I want to wake people up, and I want it to stop. 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 You understand? I want it to stop. Not get progressively crazier by the minute. It's like yesterday when I heard the FBI had called one of my IT guys. Wanted to talk to him about something. He built websites, for like people that own like 9 bars who've been arrested. And I just said, well, you do whatever you want if you're going to go down there and talk to them. But when they start bringing me up, I'm going to have to talk about it. Sure enough, that's all that went on. Man, I'm sick of it. I'm going to try to settle down in this hour after all the news I've read. Some of it I've covered on air, the guests I've had on. I just wish people had their basic human instinct to know when everybody's in danger and to know when everybody's under attack. The reason I more and more get into health and vitamin issues and mineral issues and wellness issues is because I've realized myself that that's one of the few areas where we can at least partially take charge. That's one of the few areas where we can actually do something. We can filter our water. We can stop eating GMO, at least reduce it a lot. It's hard when you're on the road. We can stop watching as much television and unplug from the matrix more. And we can buy firearms to protect ourselves. And we can meet like-minded people to develop groups of mutual aid. I don't even call it a militia. Everybody needs mutual aid alliances. Everybody needs a posse, a civil defense. The globalists don't want you to be self-sufficient. And we need to defend the First Amendment and defend liberty. But on the subject of health, I had Rawsome Foods owner, no criminal record, $1 million bail for selling raw milk and papayas at a co-op that was a private club. And I pointed it out. People go to private clubs and drive nails into each other's bodies. People under private agreement can chop each other's arms and legs off. I don't want to get into gross stuff. So you have a family audience, and people don't really know about this, but amputation's a very popular, trendy thing to do. That all goes on. Under free association, they got swingers clubs. They got everything, but you can't have places where you go buy people's potatoes they grew in their garden. The Soviets and the communists in China are the ones that do that. I mean, we're under Agenda 21 here. And I wanted to get Dr. Corey Gold on because I've had him on a couple times and have been impressed with his research, impressed with his work. And we're going to really introduce him after the break because some stations don't carry this short segment. Most of them do. XM does. Or I think XM does. I know they carry the show, but I never have time to listen to my own show because it's live. It's going to be hard to do. I've got all these things we could talk about him today. We only got about a minute and a half. We're going to break. But what are some of the topics, Dr. Gold, you want to bring up today? I know I've got a laundry list.
Well, hey, Alex, good to talk to you. I mean, right along with what you were talking about, we have a story out of England where a think tank has come up with the conclusion that not only is abortion a great thing, but people, once they're born, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months old,
3 years,
they don't have a right to life. They don't have a right to life. That just because you're born doesn't even entitle you to keep living.
And it's done out in the open.
Oh, no, they're publishing their paper. They're proud of it. It's intellectual thought. The brightest minds are back to where Nazi Germany was, that just because you're born, just because you're 6 months old, you still don't have a right to life, even though you've been born and are breathing.
And by the way, that is how it started in Nazi Germany, was medical tyranny, for those that don't know.
No, you're right. And now they're talking more about what things you can and can't put into your body. Pharmaceuticals are terrific, but hey, wait a second. You don't get to know what's GMO. Why would they not tell us what foods contain GMO? Isn't it in our best interest to know and make decisions?
Yeah, let's talk about
Apparently
that,
not.
because for those that don't know, they're moving to where you can't know if it's GMO, and they want to restrict vitamins and minerals. Dr. Corey Gold, he's a dentist, and a lot more coming up, one of the leading experts out there. We're going to talk about ways to counteract the globalist on the other side. And probably also open the phones up for questions about vitamins and minerals or health issues, vaccines with Dr. Corey Gold straight ahead. And, of course, he's involved with InfoWarsTeam.com as well. Stay with us. We'll be back. All right. Dr. Corey Gold is one of the most respected nutritionists and health product developers in the country. I mean, he's big time. And, you know, has produced some of the best-selling products that are out there. So he's well-known. He speaks all over the world to groups of hundreds and thousands of people. He, of course, received his doctorate in dental surgery. He's a dentist from the University of California, San Francisco. However, prior to that, he received a bachelor degree in biology with a minor in chemistry from California State University, Fullerton, and received a bachelor's degree in dental sciences from the University of California, San Francisco. And, of course, he's also a talk show host, radio talk show host, a popular talk show host. And now he spends his free time participating in running marathons, triathlons. He and his wife are very active in supporting children and families struggling with autism and spectrum disorders. So I want to cover the waterfront with him because, as I said in the last segment, one of the areas where we can actually take control of our lives to a great extent. There's the aluminum dioxide, chemtrailing, and barium and all that. There's the electromagnetic stuff they're doing to us. And every week somebody's girlfriend in the office or one of their friends who's like 35, 25, 40 gets cancer. I mean, I look at the numbers, 2,000+% for adults increase on average the last 40, 50 years. You look at the numbers. And some child cancers are up over 10,000 percentage points. I mean, it's a devastation. And they're doing it to us. I got all the Rockefeller Foundation documents. Every day we're posting more articles with just all the admissions, how they're doing it to us. I mean, just total evil out in the open, jacking the food, the water. They're now in prestigious medical journals saying kill babies up to age 3. Bill Gates comes out and says, kill grandma. He says, don't give grandma care. We can hire 10 teachers. The teachers clap. He says death panels. I've played the clip like 50 times. If you're a new listener, don't say, oh, that's not true. Just like a month ago, Paul Watson first saw the big prestigious Journal of Bioethics. They don't have the Hippocratic Oath anymore. They just, the bioethicists say what we do. And I've had Wall Street Journal writers on where for decades they've already been killing people who are wards of the state who are healthy. They just chain you down and kill you. This is already going on is the point. But people emailed me and said, this isn't true. No, Watson had links to it. They're not saying kill babies. This got to be a joke. And then once it was in the mainstream news, picked up from us, it was like, wow, that's, well, maybe it's needed. First, it's, oh, kill them up to the birth. Well, China kills them after they're born. Maybe that's reasonable. How about to age 3? So you were getting into that in the short little segment, Dr. Gold. And then I want to get into how they don't want us to know if stuff's GMO, the attacks on the Amish. I mean, this is crazy. Even for me, they're moving fast. And if they're moving this fast, what are they getting us ready for? Dr. Corey Gold, break it down.
It seems like everything's turning into a cost-benefit analysis as opposed to do no harm. It's, well, who's got value? And they're putting value on human life. We've seen this happen before in Nazi Germany when they said, oh, gypsies don't have value, homosexuals don't have values, Jews don't have values, therefore they don't have right to life. In fact, it'd be better for society if they just were disappearing and, just pretend those places don't exist. We're making the world a better place. We got away from that, and here we are again, where first we got into abortion being considered to be a healthy thing and a societal positive thing. They tell you that you are narrow-minded and don't like society if you think abortion's bad. Now these great think tanks of these people who consider themselves to be quite elite are telling us that, well, newborns, do they really have a right to life? Does someone get born with a right to life? And if they're so young and they can't take care of themselves, would it be okay and moral to kill them? And then it's a very small leap to, well, old people can they take care of themselves? Is there a cost benefit of what are they providing? Are they still providing positive things for society? Does somebody actually have a heart and soul in this whole matter? The answer is no. It's turned into an elitist who has a right, who has value.
Continue.
And you can take this a lot farther because eventually, if a lie is told long enough, eventually it becomes truth. We've heard this over and over again. So we people in China accept one-child policy is a normal societal thing, and if you are a loyal member of the Communist Party in China, you don't question what you're hearing in China, that one child is the right way to go. We've had politicians here, even, was it Joe Biden, I believe? I could be wrong, but I think it's Joe Biden who said, well, the one-child policy, it's right for China. It's not a bad thing. He didn't criticize it. That's what I would do. It's like, what, are you kidding me? You're going to tell people they can only have one child. You're going to make infanticide okay? Well, it's okay for them. How is murder okay for a huge
And so now that we accept that, okay, we're going to kill your babies here. In fact, it's admitted. I mean, I remember 10 years ago talking about China selling political dissidents organs. It was admitted. China advertised it. It was in European news, the mobile execution vans, and naive Americans living in their bubble would call me and say I was a liar because the internet wasn't as ubiquitous, so most of them wouldn't go check it. Now it's known, Dr. Gold, as you are pointing out, and China admits they go and find people hiding already born babies and put them in a bucket of water. And Planned Parenthood supporters are defending that. And there's the tapes where you can call up Planned Parenthood and say, I want to give money to kill black babies. And I'm like, give us the money. I got Margaret Sanger, photos with the Klan, saying kill blacks, but she's held by liberals. These high-level liberals are not liberals. They are eugenicists. The real racist the real evil control freaks, it's beyond racism, don't come out and wear a Klan uniform. They pose as a liberal. Can you speak to that?
Well, yeah. In fact, I have a couple people who I consider to be friends. They went through the best schools. And if you talk about value of human life, they look at you like you're crazy. Because where they went to school, they were taught to think that, first off, if you believe in God, you've got to be a crazy person to believe of a smiling face in the sky who knows what you think and you're naughty or nice. It's a fairy tale. So those people who put trust into God and think of themselves as being God-fearing in whatever religion they follow, they think of those people as being feeble-minded. And that it is really people who put value on things, and we as a society should decide what has value and not have value, and no one has any innate human rights to life, liberty, or the things that were the founding values of our country. And yet they'll look at you and say, poor Corey, he's just so naive to think that there's a God and to think that he has, value before God, and to think that people have a right to life. That's such a naive, old, kind of like, thinking of like Mayan temple way of thinking. You're still in the old thought. And they think that people who might have a gun, of course, you must be a mass murderer. And if somebody has a Bible, they must be narrow-minded and must be very not too smart. Because in their world, if you have those belief systems of being independent, of being self-determining, of taking care of you and your family, of being entrepreneurial,
you're not a collectivist. You're a threat.
No, you're not a team player. You're not a team player. A team player says what's best for the collective, not what is right.
Well, expanding on that, reading into deeper globalist documents, they are spiritual at the top. They believe they're basically God, and they want to control this planet, and they don't want other people saying, no, I have a right to determine my own future. So I want to say something to atheists. If you want to be an atheist or an agnostic, that's your issue. I get it that mainline religion's a joke, glitter bugs on TV begging for money. I get all that. But what I'm saying to them is the collectivist globalist advertise themselves as humanists, but they're not really trying to empower humanity. Through the eugenics, they're actually going after people that they see as the uncontrolled mavericks, and they want the state to be God, and that's why they don't want you individually to be able to determine what you believe and what's valuable to you. They want you to say, do what we say. So it's not even the community's going to determine, what we say is valuable. They're going to say it. Well, they've already said we're crud. Well, I'm here to tell them I'm not crud. And somebody that doesn't appreciate life, and somebody that doesn't understand you've got to protect the weak, and somebody that doesn't have those instincts, they're the ones that are screwed up. And I declare war on them, Doctor.
Well, and you think about it, now we're talking, I was listening to the Supreme Court arguments for the health mandate, that the government can mandate you to buy something. And I heard Justice Scalia say, well, what's next? They're going to mandate you buy broccoli. And people laughed. And I heard commentators going, well, why couldn't the government mandate you buy broccoli? It's good for you. So in that vein, if this goes through, what can't the government tell you to do if they think it's good for you? Can they tell you where to live? Can they tell you what job to have?
And MSNBC, I just saw him during a break, we have it on back there, was saying, yeah, we do need the government to tell us what to do.
Right. We can tell you what job you'd be best at. We can tell you where you might want to live. Right now, the government's giving most people loans. They give most people health. They give most people education. They give most people food. When you're beholden to the government for food, housing,